Hello everyone! I'm back with another card for you from the Stamp of the Month set from July. This is card number 2 that my customers receive in a kit in which they can make 6 cards, 2 of each of 3 designs, when they purchase this stamp set here in the month of July. And this stamp set is $5 with a $50 purchase. So if you're interested in this stamp set, here's one of the cards that you can make with it, and you will receive the supplies from me during the month of July 2020. Let me show you where I got the idea for the layout of this card. This book, Make It From Your Heart Volume 2, is put out by Close to My Heart, and it has various sketches in here for layouts of scrapbook pages, but also of cards, and we're going to use pattern 20 for this card. So you can see that I've got it altered a little bit, but most of the measurements are the same, and I will post them in the description box below. The green patterned paper, the polka dots, is measured at 5 1/4 by 4. This patterned paper here is 4 by 2 1/2. The strip going across where the sentiment is 3/4 by 4 1/4. And then this I just cut to fit after I stamped the image, so I really don't know what the measurements are there. Let me see if I can't measure that out for you. So it looks like it's about 2 3/4 by 2 1/2, but I'll show you how I give you a larger piece and then you just stamp it and then cut it out. So let's go ahead and get started. You'll receive materials that look a lot like this in your kit. This is the paper that we'll stamp on in just a second. Let's see, looks like I gave an envelope to this person, but not a card. Let me grab a card. It's kind of sad. I'll double check these before sending them out this month. All right. Now, one thing that I sometimes like to do on my layers is I like to ink the edges. If that's something you like to do, feel free. This would be the perfect time to ink your edge now before placing it onto your layout, before gluing it onto. If you don't know what I mean by inking, let me show you, because I kind of feel like inking this guy today. So you'll take a sponge dauber and your color of choice for inking. For this one, I'm going to use green apple. I think that will look nice. And you can do this a couple different ways. You can use a piece of scratch paper and hold this down against it and then go in perpendicularly in a circle, or you can do what I normally do, and that is just kind of ink the edges like so. That is scientific. This gives the cardstock, your layers, another dimension. It almost looks like there's another piece of cardstock underneath this one. You know, and as long as I get this out, I think I'm going to do this one too. Tie all this green together. You can see it's going to pop a lot more on this sheet. I like that. Alright, so I didn't do that on the original card, but I just felt like doing it now, and it's one of those techniques that I do use frequently, so I thought I'd share. And put this layer down. And as always, with these two-sided prints, if you decide you like the other side better, feel free to turn your paper around for yourself. Somewhere up there. Alright, now we're to the stamped layers. I'm going to put that to the side. Oh, grab that again. I need this. I'll be giving you an extra sheet of this white daisy cardstock. And this stamp, since it's a larger one, and I do want the entire image stamped with fidelity here, I'm going to use my MISTI, because this way I can restamp in exactly the same spot if it doesn't come out great. I'm using Intense Black. Sorry guys, I'm finding that my workspace is getting smaller and smaller because my things just start to pile up around me. I'll clean up my workspace before I start my third card video because it's getting pretty bad. Alright, let's see how that turned out. Oh, not very good. Do you see there's a skip here and then also in her feet? So I'm glad I'm using this guy. I'm going to go ahead and re-ink especially that inner flower and her feet. Make sure I get those really well. The rest of it doesn't look too bad. Looks like I got a little sloppy here. Okay. Let's try restamping those portions. Yay! Okay, that's better. And now she's ready for coloring. For this next part, I'm going to show you how I do my shading. It is not like I'm a Copic instructor or anywhere near as talented as some of my counterparts, but I can show you what I do as an amateur, and if you'd like to color along, you may. Or you can fast forward through this part of the tape if that part does not interest you and you want to do your own coloring. Alright, let me scope out my notes here. So I used blue turquoise blend for her dress and these larger flowers here. So I'm going to start with the medium and color out from the middle here into the rest of the petals. I love this blue. Reminds me a lot of the accent color in my kitchen. I've got mostly a gray kitchen with this blue color. Yeah, I think that's good. Then for her dress, I'm going to do, I think as the light's coming from this way. I think we'll try that. I sometimes get confused and the dark spots end up in other areas too, but let me see if I can't give that a shot. Okay, then maybe a little shading here under the flowers and her hands. Okay, now I'm going to go with my light color. Start on the outer part of the petals and color in. I took my time with this part and did some real fussy coloring. I had an old movie on that I was watching, my James Bond, and I just enjoyed the process. You can be as careful with this coloring or as quick as you wish to be. What's nice about all these florals is you can just kind of blend it all in and not be too careful with your lines, and it'll still come out really pretty. So when you first apply it, you can tell the light doesn't look very light, does it? But then as you see the alcohol start to evaporate and the color is left behind deposited, it's quite a nice effect. I'm going to color all this light, and then I'm going to go through with my dark. And go over these guys here, the stamens, really carefully here, and then I think I'll redo some of the shading down here too. Alright, and now I'm going to go through with my light again, and blend that all out. Again, at first it looks really dark, but as soon as the alcohol evaporates, you'll see if you like that shading or not. And if not, no worries, go back and color over how you'd like. I think I'm gonna like how that looks. All right, let's let that dry and I'll see how I like it as it starts to fade. I mean, you can tell here it is wet and here it is dry. Same colors, look at how much different that is. Of course, I did use some of that shimmer brush later and I'll show you that in a minute, but it really makes a difference as it starts to dry. Okay, now I'm going to use the light green blend and also the citrus green blend. I'm going to start with my lightest shade of the citrus green blend to color in quite a few of these leaves. There's a citrus and there's a citrus green, so you'll want to double check that before you apply your color. I've done that before, in case you can't tell. That's why I brought it up a million times. I'm just going to color it all in, I think, all of the leaves, and then go in with my darker colors later. This looks like it would really be difficult. The design's pretty intricate, but once you start coloring in, you see, no, it's really not that bad, is it? Some of you who, oh, I watched some of your tutorials, yours is going to turn out gorgeous. This is just really amateur hour here for the coloring, but some of you just have an eye for shading that just blows my mind. I love watching those. I actually like watching people color. Is that weird? Some people find it about as much fun as watching paint dry, but I like it. Okay, this is the light green. Now I'm going to go with my light color of the light green. It's almost like I skip a couple colors, and I'm going to do a little bit of shading here, here and there. Not real scientific. I'm not worried too much about where the light shadows should fall on this. I'm just kind of dabbing it here and there, sprinkling it like glitter, so to speak. Alright, and then I'm going to use the darkest shade of light green blend, and this is where I'm going to pay a little bit more attention to where the shadowing should fall. All right. Then again, I'm going to go in with the light part of my light green blend and blend some of that out. Yeah, I'm watching the blue change, and I do like how it's starting to look, so I'm probably not going to do much more with that. You'll want to keep an eye on that as you go from color to color and decide if you want to change anything. Alright, next I'm going to use my pink, bright pink blend and use the light everywhere. Make sure I'm on my light. Nope, I'm on dark. Looked a little dark. Alright then. I'm going to do that different. I want to do those orange, I think. Pink here, here, maybe here. Alright, now I'll go in with my dark. Towards the bottom here, scoop this. And then in here, we'll need some shading here and here. All right, I'm gonna take my medium color and blend. And then watch those colors as they change and see if I like it. I will be going in later too with my raspberry shimmer brush, so that's where I can also do some more darkening. All right, then I used orange blend. I used orange blend on the center, the darkest part, in these little flower centers here, and then towards the middle of each of these kind of flowers. All right, and then I'm going to do a light going into the dark technique again. Sorry, that squeaking starting to drive you crazy. Turn it down if you want. And then I don't know if I did anything with my medium. I probably did, because I can see right now how that's starting to look like just a little circle in the middle, and I want that to be feathered out a little more. All right, that's good. All right, then I used hydrangea blend. I'm going to use the mid color, I believe, and go over all of these spiky looking flowers. They look like daisies, so I don't know why I'm coloring them purple. Oh, I see some leaves I missed. Are daisies purple? Can you have a purple daisy? I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna now go in with the dark. Just kind of run a line down the center of each of those. All right, I want to do a little bit of touch up here. You probably saw these maybe even while I was coloring. You're probably thinking, ooh, get in there, get these. Let me do that now, use your mind. All right, for the middle of the purple, I used a citrus blend, and I did this also in the middle of the orange flowers. I'm just using the medium here. All right, and then I think I used, let me look at the thing. Oh yeah, I did use orange on her little socks here. Just using the mid color and then the light to go into it. And then I'm going to use a fair skin blend marker, dark side for the bottom part and to the left, and then light part of the marker to blend. Smeared a little blue there. I'm not too happy with myself, but oh well. All right, I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to do the glittery shimmer brush stuff later. I want to cut this out for you now. What I did was, instead of using any kind of a dimension for this piece, I just lined up my cutter. I don't know if you could see where my cutter line is with the edge of the image, and then that way I knew how far to cut. Now if you wanted to, you could fussy cut this as well, however you liked. There were no thin cuts with this one, so those are pretty much your two options. Then we add this layer here. And then this part here, you can choose which sentiment from the set you like. I chose the one that said "Just for You," and I used candy apple so that it showed up really brightly. Oops. All right. That looks crooked. Oh, that's all right. If I wanted it perfect, I'd buy it in a store, right? Oh, that's horrible. Let's use the other side. I mean, it's one thing to not be a perfectionist. It's another to be a slob, right? All right, and then this goes all the way across here. Oops, there, like that. And then you'll use your gems and you'll put 3 going across here. You could measure this out if you wanted to be more precise. I don't want to be. Alright. And then this is nice just the way it is now, but if you want to add a little extra something something, you can take your, this is Sapphire shimmer brush, and I'm just going to go over some of the flowers here and sparkle it up a little bit. And then I've got the raspberry one as well. This one I need to, not much is coming out of this guy. Ooh, but see, I get afraid of that. So that's why I started off here. See what happened? Because then I don't want it to look like I bled all over my card. Okay. All right. Now we got plenty coming out. There's like nothing, and I was like, it must have had a clog of some sort. Now we'll have enough for like 5 cards coming out of here. All right, and then I use my green one. Here it is, my evergreen. And again, just kind of went over areas that were a little darker. These do add color and not just shimmer, so if you're not sure about how much you want to show up, go over your darker areas of your coloring with them. And again, this is just an option, not a necessity, but I think it adds a real nice touch. Okay, and then that's our second card. All right, I will see you later. Bye for now.